With winter fast approaching, we're getting less vitamin D, aka the sunshine vitamin. Research has shown that having healthy levels of vitamin D can lead to stronger bones, improvements in immune health, and can even support our brains. Joining us today to talk about foods that can help boost our vitamin D intake is Keri Glassman, registered dietitian and nutritionist and author of the O2 Diet. Hey, Keri, welcome back to the show.
So great to be here with you.
All right, let's get right into it. First on the list for our vitamin D-licious foods.
Okay, so salmon, I should say fatty fish, is really probably one of my favorites. There aren't that many foods that contain vitamin D. Salmon is one of my favorites, but there's something you have to remember. You really want to get wild salmon. Wild salmon is going to have more vitamin D than farm-raised. It is a little bit more expensive, but if you're really looking to boost your vitamin D, it is absolutely worth it.
I love salmon, omega-3s, protein, vitamin D. I get king salmon. You're right, it's a little more expensive, but I think the nutritional benefits are extremely helpful, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And so the next thing I love is in the fish category here is canned sardines and tuna. And I love sardines and tuna because they're obviously so easy to keep in the pantry, and many people are still eating at home a lot and they want convenient foods. So I love them for that reason. And then sardines also are really high in omega-3 fatty acids, just like salmon. So it's another great way to get in not only your vitamin D, but also some more of those essential fatty acids.
Absolutely. You know, being vitamin D deficient, people can start feeling tired, they have aches, they have pains. So it's so important to keep that vitamin D going. What else can we put on our list?
Okay, so another one of my faves is eggs. And again, eggs, it's one of those foods that so many people keep around in their house. They're affordable, they're nutrient dense. But the key here is to make sure you eat those yolks. The yolks, that beautiful yellow yolk, is where you're going to get all of those nutrients, including vitamin D. And then also you really want to look for pasture-raised or free-range chickens, eggs that come from chickens.
That's right. That's right.
And that's because they're going to have almost 4 times as much vitamin D, because those chickens, when they're pasture raised, they're out in the sunlight. And just like we make vitamin D from the sun, so do the chickens.
Absolutely. What do you have next?
So mushrooms. Mushrooms are going to be the only food in the produce aisle that contain vitamin D. And the interesting thing about mushrooms is that they make the vitamin D from the sunlight, just like us also, but they make vitamin D2, and we make vitamin D3. And even though both of those forms of vitamin D are absorbed in the gut equally, it's vitamin D3 that actually helps increase our blood levels of vitamin D a little bit more efficiently. So mushrooms are really high, and you absolutely should include them in your diet, but it's just something to be aware of. And maitake mushrooms, otherwise known as hen of the woods, which are my fave, are particularly high in vitamin D. And you can also look out for mushrooms that have been treated with UV light, and those mushrooms have even higher amounts of vitamin D.
Absolutely. And guess what? Mushrooms, as you know, are a great addition to so many recipes, right?
Absolutely. They can even be a great meat substitute.
Absolutely. Okay, your last tip of the day.
Okay, so if you don't like any of these foods that naturally contain the vitamin D, you can go for some fortified foods. So foods like cereal and orange juice may be fortified. Definitely read those labels, because not all products. But also milk, most milk is going to be fortified, but still read the label just to be sure. But cow's milk and dairy alternatives also are generally fortified with vitamin D.
And Keri, you and I say fortified all the time, but explain to the viewers when you say fortified, what exactly does that mean? What's the process?
So what that means is that vitamin D isn't naturally found in the milk, but in the manufacturing process, vitamin D is added to reap the benefits.
Awesome. Keri, always great information. Always great to have you on. Thanks for all your great tips.
So great being here with you.
All right. See you soon.